Welcome back to another episode of the Extreme Lifestyle Living Podcast. Now, two huge announcements. Number one is we've officially hit 2,500 downloads. And honestly, I don't even know what to say about that. I think it's something that it's mind blowing, because I think, when you put things in perspective in terms of understanding like markets and how you're doing in certain categories of your life. And, I don't even really talk about the podcast that much in terms of marketing it and, really displaying what I talk about on my episodes, like a lot of people. And it's crazy because, once you get, I mean, the stat may be old now, but once you get past 20 episodes of your podcast, you're technically in the top 10% or top like 25 or 30% of like podcasting because most people start it and they don't fucking keep it up, So that's honestly a huge ass milestone. I'm super grateful for that. And, I have all you guys to thank for that, to be honest. And the biggest thing as well, the second announcement is, obviously you see me in the studio and in the office and we're bringing back video, and it's actually ironic as fuck to be bringing back video because I actually started this entire thing with video. And I think that's why I really want to, take this up a notch and start talking about what I talk about on these episodes and really like get more into bringing impact to this space. Because, now that I'm a full time entrepreneur, podcaster, mindset and performance coach, have a client roster, I'm part of a team, do all these calls, all these different things, right? My biggest thing is realizing, impact is the biggest thing I care about the most, and, that's the thing that I honestly get the most fulfillment and most joy from is giving impact for people. Obviously it's about making money, making moves and getting your business ahead, and growing your business, getting clients, and seeing all the client wins and stuff. But honestly, there's nothing more gratifying than seeing like the true success of something that is just being built off of the backhand of just genuinely giving a fuck about mental health, but mindset, relationship with yourself, your food, your community, family, love, fulfillment, joy, peace, abundance, all these different things. And that's the biggest thing I want to talk about with this podcast episode and what I'm honestly bringing to the table now with these podcasts, right? I've been doing this for about 3 to 4 years now. I think about 4 or 5 years maybe. This podcast, I think probably around 4 solid years of podcasting. And I've been coaching people for about 2.5, 3 years, personal training or like more like fitness training with mindset more of the last 2 years, and been doing it full time for over a year now for the past like 14 months. So the biggest thing that I want to highlight with this episode, with these two big announcements of the 2,500 downloads and doing the video podcast episodes now, is honestly, it's like just want to talk about like I'm just a broken kid from the ghetto that didn't deserve shit, and I want you to understand that like that could have been my story that I wrote to myself and just lived that by that narrative my entire life. Or I could use that to catapult me into the position I'm in now, having a studio with 2,500 plus downloads on my podcast, doing video now, and really just giving that impact and giving that value to everybody. And, I really want to break it down because, I'm so grateful to be in this position to be able to give back on so many different levels. And it's actually even funny, like, doing asking the community, asking Instagram, asking like, Facebook, TikTok, and these things like, what do you guys want to see more of from me? And it's always like, mindset and like mental health and how that relates to lifestyle. You know what I mean? Fitness, working out, nutrition, things like that. Like everything's always like, close second or third, but it's always mindset. It's always like me talking about things like this. So what better way to bring it to light than do the videos, with the 2,500 downloads to celebrate. And the reason why I highlight, just being a broken kid from the ghetto is, you know, I remember starting this podcast and really, really, really getting so much confidence, building up so much animosity to build the confidence to do it and like stand tall and just be that person in a space. And it's so crazy to be like, that's what I mean. Ironic doing the videos again now to see how it comes back full circle 4 years later. But the reason why I'm saying a broken kid from the ghetto, I didn't deserve shit, is because I completely manifested this and created this life. Like the reason why I ended up doing audio for the podcast is because I went back to the impact over like investment of time. Like, honestly, video takes a lot of time, and I honestly wasn't in a position to invest that much time into bringing this type of impact to the audience and my people and my clients and just have this time to invest into it because it is a lot of time doing the video. When it comes to audio, it's a little bit more mainstream in terms of cut and dry and what I got to do. So, I can do that. I can give it to my clients. They can listen to it. I can give it to close. I can talk about it. People around the world download it, which is like reason. That's a big thing too. Why I want to get into the video is, people in Africa, people in European Union, people in Australia, the Asia. Like that's so crazy to see that people are listening to these episodes, right? So if I do video, like damn, I want to get more of like a in a weird way, not a weird way, but it's like, you know, more of like a relationship, intimate relationship where people get more of like bond and feel the energy more. So, right. Because again, going back to me being a broken kid from the ghetto, like, it's true. Like, you know, I remember like that's why I started off with the podcast. So many people are amazed that I had the podcast longer than I've been a coach online and had a full-time business, and that's because I just truly do care about the community and, you know, impact with mental health and mindset before anything else, before the physicality, before the nutrition, before anything like that. Because, you know, at the end of the day, like, without your mindset we'd have nothing, you know. And if I can sit here in this podcast studio with, I don't even want to talk about how much money everything is in here, and it's not even that's a lot of money and stuff, it's just the fact that I can afford this life with everything that's going on. It just, you know, is above me. Because, you know, I truly am. I'm 29 years old this year. Oh, 29-year-old right now, and I'm turning 30 this year. And, you know, I'm just that broken kid from the ghetto. I remember when I was 14 years old and I just started really taking the gym serious. And then 21, started getting like serious by hiring a coach and just deciding to take it full tilt. And it's just so crazy to see where I'm at now, right? And I just want to share all that with you guys because for so many different reasons. Like, one, I wouldn't even be making this video again. Truly, I don't think. And I've taken the time to invest into it for two reasons. Well, one, I'm in a way better position in terms of my life now, in terms of having the time to allocate to it, because it is a huge passion of mine. But two, like, you know, 2,500 plus downloads, all these reviews, all these comments, like people reaching out from around the world, I think is warranted, you know. And I think that's the thing that gives me so much gratifying fulfillment and why I want to share this with you, and just say, like, you know, whatever you want to do, you can put your mind to. It's just, you really just got to understand, like, you know, like, you got to put in the work. That's why I'm saying you just a broken kid from the ghetto and I don't deserve shit. Is because, you know, we don't just, none of us deserve anything. It's so true. You know, like, none of us deserve anything at the end of the day. And I think, like, you know, that can be taken out of context and turned into a negative avenue or a negative mindset. But, you know, when you look at it from, you only deserve what you work for, then you really start to look at life in a whole different perspective and limelight. Because you're like, you realize that if you want X goal, you want your podcast to get 2,500, 5,000, 10,000 downloads, you want to get it, lose 10 pounds, or you want to gain 5 pounds of muscle, whatever it is, you know, you have to do those things that get it there, right? You put in the work. So that's why it's so gratifying, right? Is that you don't deserve anything you didn't put the work in for. So that famous quote is like, you know, don't get upset at the results you didn't get for the work that you didn't do. And it's the same pretense here. And I want to highlight that because, you know, like, no one's going to create or give you anything for your destiny or your legacy or your life. Like, no one's ever going to come give you anything or hand out anything. I literally loathed for that for years. And it's funny because you can't see it from this perspective in the office, but to the left there is my window where I can look out into, like, where I can see like the garage, and I can see like the parking spaces and the cars and stuff. And, you know, like, this screen here is where I have my clients where we do our one-on-one calls and stuff. And it's funny because I always point to that window and say, like, when we get into like not heated conversations, but, you know, very high energy, high love conversations where we're really just trying to have mental breakthroughs, I always point to that window. I'm like, man, like, I would give anything to have, you know, mom, dad come to that door and, like, save me, you know, give me the validation that I've always wanted. So, you know, that's why I highlight the emphasis on, you know, it's not negative to say we don't deserve shit. We deserve what we put in the work for. Because, you know, like, we all want handles. We all want things to become a little bit easier. And that it's, you know, and that's also a little bit of an excuse why I didn't do the videos. I wanted it to be a little bit easier. You know, so I think something with that as well is like, it's just being able to understand, like, whatever you want in this world, it's like, you understand that you can have X. If you want to do X, they get to X. You know what I mean? You want to lose 20 pounds, guess what? You want to lose 20 pounds, you got to hire a coach if you've never done it before, and you got to do a lot of cardio, a lot of working out, and a lot of nutrition and diet in order to get to X. You know what I'm saying? So there's always like, you got to do something to get to something. And I think that the whole thing I want to highlight with that is, like, if I'm sitting here in this podcast studio, you can do whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do. If I can have a full client roster, or I can give this lifestyle, be in a prep 15 weeks out from a bodybuilding show, and be doing it full time. Don't gotta ask anyone else. Don't gotta ask anyone for time off or anything. Like, you can do whatever you want. I swear to God. And I think the biggest thing with this episode is I really want to, like, you know, show you how, like, you are capable of doing whatever it is that you want. You know, like, this time last year, it's Valentine's Day that I'm recording this right now. You know, me and Emma have such a good, even this is a perspective too to understand about being this broken kid from the ghetto, is like, you know, just getting into your own lane and creating everything that you just want. Like, even it's Valentine's Day and it's like, you know, this stereotypical relationships, and this is not to shit on anybody out there, but it's like, you know, everyone's posting those relationship photos, what they're doing for the day, and it's like I posted something about the podcast and the 2,500 downloads, honestly, and I think Emma's over there doing something with a 14-day challenge. She has a fucking bunch of beautiful ladies crushing that shit into the program. It's so crazy to see because her community's growing like ever, and it's like, you know, there's nothing else that I'd rather be doing than sitting here and like recording a podcast episode, getting into the video for you guys. You know what I mean? Doing something that's so fulfilling to me. And it's like, you know, same thing with her. There's nothing better, more than what she's doing. And it's crazy because, you know, every day is like Valentine's Day with us. You know, every day is like Christmas with us. Every day can be like this with you guys as well, with whatever life you guys are living. If you guys just understand that you don't deserve anything that you haven't worked for, you guys understand that, you know, no one's going to come out and give you guys handouts, and just understand, like, you know, if you want to do something, it's going to be a process. If you want to lose 20 pounds, you want to get a podcast, you want to gain 5 pounds of muscle, you got to do X from X to get to X. There's always something included in there, right? And you know, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart to the top is I appreciate every single one of you guys. I seriously would not be here without you guys. And like I said, and I even gave a little bit of a sell out to myself of a cop out about, you know, maybe it's even a little bit of lazy, which it was, about not doing the video for the podcast. But with your guys' support, with your guys' understanding of like wanting the impact that I'm giving and being reciprocal of that and receptive, like, you know, it's possible, you know? So I guess to close it off, because again, I'm really trying to rebrand this stuff and close it off and finish it off. Because again, we're doing audio, we're doing video, we're doing all this more impactful stuff. Is like, you know, if there's anything you guys could do, and I never ask for anything, and I like to say that to my clients. I never ask for anything. I don't even mark what I do, which is again why I'm doing this. Is, you know, just leave me your review. Like, I think a review on whatever platform you listen to is. This is on every platform. I know Spotify and Apple Podcasts are the most common ones, but like whatever podcast platform you listen to it, you watch it on YouTube or whatever you watch, see this video, like, you know, just leave a review. You don't realize how much, like, you know, that really goes for somebody in the online space that like uses online infrastructure to build their business and stuff. From honestly, in my opinion, is from an impactful standpoint. I can give so much more value and impact to so many more people with this framework. But, you know, like small things like that, like a double tap, a share, a comment, just a review, the smallest things. And it's like, you know, be a real human, be constructive, give criticism, tell, like, you know, whatever it is, like, seriously, you know, we're here to build a community. And that's the whole point of this episode, is to show you that, you know, I'm just a broken kid from the ghetto. I didn't deserve shit, but here's what I created with hard work, determination, will, and support from the community is exactly what I'm talking about, right? But other than that, I appreciate you guys all. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know how you guys like this new episodes and how you guys like the new vibe. But other than that, the tone, the tone of this year is 2024. We're fucking taking over and coming for every fucking single thing that's ours. Let's go.